Hey guys, today we're going to be talking on Into Math about counting on. So you're going to be going into your Into Math on Pathway or through Pathblazer in just a few minutes, but I just want to give you a little quick lesson on counting on before we have you get on there and actually do the work that's going to be graded, okay? So first thing you're going to do today is you're going to be watching a video called Lesson Support Video. I'm going to show you. Let me share my screen really quick, and then that way you can kind of see what it's going to look like. So it's lesson support video, and when you click on yours, it's going to look something like this, and you're going to play that video, and now I'm going to show you really quick where you're going to find that. So you're going to find some information to go along with that video. We are sending home your extra support pages here. This is called Counting On Lesson 1.2, More Practice and Homework. And that video is going to go right along with number 3 here, Math on the Spot. Which 3 numbers can you use to complete the equation? So I'm not going to take time to teach this little thing. I'm going to let that video teach you that, okay? But this will just be an extra practice. You don't have to turn this part in. All right, so now let's take a look at some of the work that you're going to be doing on the computer today. All right, so I've got an actual paper copy here that we're going to be using instead, but it's going to be the same work that you're just going to see when you get on the computer. So you're going to be going into one section called Build Understanding, and as we go along in this, I'm going to kind of teach you with the paper here, and then when you can get on the computer, it's going to kind of go right along with what this is. So you can kind of go back and remember what we did on the paper today. So the first thing, we have a story problem. Evan picks 9 red apples and 3 green apples. How many apples does he pick? We're going to first look for our important numbers. Evan picks 9 red apples and he picks 3 green apples. Those are both very important numbers. And then we see the words how many. That tells us we need to either add or subtract. How many apples does he pick? That's going to tell us we want to add those together. And we're going to be using something called counting on to do that today. How can you count on to solve the problem? First step is I'm going to go ahead and draw my 9 red apples. And I'm not going to draw real fancy apples because I don't want to take a lot of time to do that. I know that you guys have lots of work to get to. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write down that I drew 9 apples. All right, I could drew my 9 apples, and I'm writing 9 because in a minute, we're going to, instead of counting all of our apples, we're going to count on starting with 9. And 3 green apples. Now, I'm not going to write those numbers yet. I'm not going to write 3 because I'm going to be counting on from 9. Here we go. 9. What number comes next? 10, 11, 12. How can you write an equation to model the problem? When you model a problem, that means you show how you did that. So my first number was what? 9. Then I added 3 more apples. And when I added 3 more apples, I counted 9, 10, 11, 12. So it equals 12. Evan picks 12 apples. Very important vocabulary word in there, count on. This is an example. 4 plus 2 equals 6. Say the 4. Count on 2 more. 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. Turn and talk. I'll give you a chance to do this with your whoever's sitting with you. Count on. How is counting on similar? That means the same as counting all. Counting all would mean we didn't have this number written here, that we just counted all the dots. So what's kind of the same about it? Did you tell them that the number that you count at the end is the same? How is it different? Did you tell them it's because 9, we start counting at 9, 10, 11, 12, there's less numbers to count, isn't there? Good job. Even though we come up with the same final answer, less numbers to count. Let's do one more build your understanding question. This will go along with the second task on there. Jade reads 2 books about cats and 5 books about dogs. How many books does she read? Let's look for those important numbers. Jade reads 2 books about cats and 5 books about dogs. How many books does she read? This time, it says, how can you count on to solve the problem? This time, they've already given us one of the numbers. They've given us a 5, haven't they? Because they want us to count on from that number. 5, if she had 2 more books. So if we counted on 5, next number would be 6 and 7. 5, 6, 7. Again, how can you write an equation to model the problem? Remember we started with a number? This time we started with a 5. So let's go ahead and write that 5. Plus 2 more books. We drew 2 more books. And when we counted those 5, 6, 7, that equaled 7. Jade reads 7 books. On your turn and talk, is it faster to start with the 2 and count on 5 more? Or do you think it'd be faster to start with 5 and count on 2 more? Why do you think that? So if I was talking with you, I would probably say it might be faster to start with the 5 because I only have 2 more numbers to put in there. If I started with the 2 and had to count 5 more, I'd be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a lot more numbers, and there's more chance that we could get messed up, isn't there? So we start with our bigger number. There's less chance of messing up, and we don't have to count as long. So it's kind of like a little quick way to do that. All right, now the next thing you're going to do on your computer is called On Your Own. And we're going to kind of walk through it on here, and then this is the part on the computer that we're going to actually be taking a grade on. Okay, so really pay attention to what we do here. So when you go to do it on the computer, you will have a little more understanding on what to do. So number 5 here says, Tom counts on to add 3 plus 8. Explain why he should start at 8. Think back to what we just talked about. 8 is that bigger number, isn't it? 3 plus 8, 8's bigger than 3. If we start at 8, do you remember what I told you? That there's 2 things. There's less numbers to count, and there's less chance of making a mistake. That's right. So 8 is bigger. So we can count fewer numbers and you could even add in there, and there's less chance of making a mistake. All right, number 6. Henry sees 9 birds, then he sees 2 more birds. Write an equation to show how many birds he sees. Henry sees 9 birds, then he sees 2 more birds. Write an equation to show how many he sees. How many did he start with? 9. That's that bigger number, 9. Hard to see that one. Let me write that a little neater. 9 and 2 more. We could do a picture. 9. And there, that's it. Drawing birds. I'll just draw circles. 9. And if we count it on, 10, 11. 9 plus 2 equaled 11. Henry sees 11 birds. Now we're going to be using a tool called a number line. Ty has 3 hats. His brother gives him 5 more hats. More is important because that tells us we're going to be counting on or adding. How many hats does Ty have now? Draw jumps on the number line to count on. So what's our bigger number? There you go, 5. And then we're going to hop 3 more. 3 hops. And what number did we land on? 8. Okay, now we've got 3. If you have a number line at home to use, you can use that, or you can draw pictures. 9 plus 3 equals. I'm going to go ahead and use my number line here. 9 plus 3. I'm making him hop 3 times. 1, 2, 3. What's that number? 12. Next one, 5 plus 0. 5 plus 0 means he's not going to hop at all. He's staying right where he is, so he's still on 5. Oh, this one might be a little tricky. 1 plus 7. Which one's that bigger number? 7's our bigger number, but because they wrote it with 1 first, let's go ahead and start with the 1. Because we're going to come up with the right answer anyway, but let's just try having to hop the bigger number this time. 1, and now we're going to hop. Hop and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We landed on 8, didn't we? Let's take a look. If we did that 7, and then we hopped 1 more, plus 1, we'd still land on 8, wouldn't we? We had to count a lot more numbers, just like we talked about on the top one. All right, last ones. Raymond has 6 toy cars at home. He has 1 toy car at school. How many toy cars does he have? Raymond has blank toy cars. Let's underline. Raymond has 6 toy cars at home. He has 1 toy car at school. How many toy cars does he have? 6. And 1 more. We counted 7. Raymond has 7 toy cars. On our number line, 6 plus 1 more would be 7. Isla finds 6 worms. James finds 2 worms. How many worms do they find? Explain how you can count on to solve the problem. Isla finds 6 worms. James finds 2 worms. How many worms do they find? Explain how you could count on to solve. All right. So what number could we start with? Which of those is bigger? Start with 6. Then count on, how many more? 2. And so if we used our number line, let's see what that would be. 6, counting on 2 more, 1, 2, 8. They have 8 worms. All right, almost done, guys. You're doing really well. All right, number 13, add, write the sum. I want you to watch these ones carefully because look what they did. They put our answer over here. Sometimes they'll do that. They'll switch them around and put the answer on this side or the sum on this side, and they'll put the problem over on the other side, but that's okay. We still start with the problem, and then wherever the equal sign is, right next to that's where we write our answer, okay? So number 13, what is equal to 8 plus 3? My bigger number is 8 plus 3. Hop 3 more times. 1, 2, 3. Now I landed on 11. 14, what is equal to 2 plus 7? Bigger number, 7. Hop 2 more, 1, 2, and that is 9. And our last one, what is equal to 1 plus 9? My bigger number is 9 plus 1, hop 1, 10. Excellent job. All right. And then on your, I'm not sure on the computer if you're going to see this part or not, but let's just talk about it a second. What do I do when I do not know what to do? You can ask for help. You can use a number line. You can use some kind of a tool to help you, right? You can draw pictures to help you sometimes. There's lots of different ways to find out help. All right, so I hope you guys, that helped you a little bit on your computer on counting on. I hope that you do really well on your lesson. I know you guys are smart enough that you're going to do a great job. All right, we'll talk to you again next time. Bye.